All right, I am here live at the Charlotte Dirt Track, and I'm sitting with Sheldon Haudenschild, the driver of the number 17 NAS Sprint Car World of Outlaws car. Sheldon, this is my first time at a World of Outlaws event, and I gotta say, when I was out there last night watching you guys qualify, I had this immediate thought where I was like, this is the bull riding of racing. Do you think that that's fair to say?
Yeah, I think. I think they're dirt bikes with four wheels. I think a dirt bike's about the closest thing to bull riding. I think the bull riders are probably the gnarliest guys, and I'd say this is right up there with one of the braver things that you could do, and maybe a little more dangerous.
Have you ever rode a bull before?
Mechanical bull.
How long did you go?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
It was at bar.
How long do you think you could go if you rode a real bull?
Oh, probably not very long. A couple seconds, two.
I'd give you 4.7. I give you 4.7.
Halfway, right?
I mean, you're pretty badass dude. I mean, I've spent a lot of time watching, like, your life, what you've been doing in racing, and we'll kind of slide into that because it's you gotta have balls to do this, and that is for sure. The World of Outlaws racing itself. I come from more of like the NASCAR IndyCar world where that's a lot of the racing I watch. The dirt racing aspect of it, though, like for somebody that watches NASCAR and IndyCar, like how would you compare World of Outlaws racing and sprint car racing to that, if you even could?
I mean, I don't think you can really compare it to NASCAR. I think IndyCar, them are some brave souls that hop in them, but I don't know how you can compare, really. I think it's just something so different, especially to NASCAR. I don't know how you compare that. I think the guys that do it all the time maybe make it look a little easier than what it really probably is. But, I think in all aspects of racing, it just has the different, niches that are crazy about it. I mean, I still wouldn't want to crash a NASCAR, right? Like,
yeah, that would probably hurt.
Yeah,
I think it would hurt really bad. I've seen these crashes in World of Outlaws, and so the thing for me watching those, like, it looks like a fucking tornado, dude. So, like, for when you guys hit that, like, what does that feel like? Have you been in some wrecks before?
Oh yeah. Crashing, especially, hit 30 years old, you want to crash less. Like,
yes.
You start feeling it in your body, and I think when you're 20, 18, 20, under 25, you kind of don't think about it as much. And, I know I didn't think about it as much as I should have when I was young, and took a lot of big hits. And, I think once you get to a certain age and feeling and, realize it only takes one of those hits to really, stop your career or shorten it for sure.
Yeah. And on the competition side of things with World of Outlaws, like, you guys have a point system. So you guys have a shitload of racing that y'all do throughout a season. How does y'all's point system kind of work compared to, like, what NASCAR? I bring it up because it's a hot topic right now in NASCAR, and I'm sure you've seen it. But, like, how does your point system in World of Outlaws compared to, like, that of IndyCar or NASCAR?
Yeah, I don't even know the IndyCar point deal at all.
Full season,
yeah. So, I think, to me, that's the only way a point system should go. Like,
amen, dude.
Probably half the reason I don't really watch NASCAR, just because, I feel like if you're good at those last 6 or 10 races or whatever it is, you have a shot at winning the points as long as you won one race and you're there at the last couple races and you can put together a good little stretch. Like, to me, that's not a champion.
Yeah, trying to make stick and ball sports be racing.
Yeah, I don't like that. And I think, that's what I love about our sport. It's 85, 90 races, and the best man at the end of that is the champion. And that's how it should be, like old NASCAR stuff, Supercross stuff. That's what a points championship is.
So you say you don't watch a lot of NASCAR. You're obviously familiar with some of the drivers. You're familiar with Joey Logano? No?
I mean, I know of him, but
you know of him, never met him?
No.
I think so. Obviously, your dad is Jack Haudenschild. I did a little bit of homework on him last night, and I noticed that he used to rip the Pennzoil number 22. Do you think Joey Logano is probably just trying to be like your dad?
Yeah, probably so.
I would think so, too. He's kind of got that vibe.
I don't think that'll ever happen, though.
Probably not. Definitely not with this. I mean, maybe if they kept the old format in NASCAR, he would try, but it wouldn't really matter, I guess. But I had to ask that because your dad, I didn't realize how far back sprint car racing went. Like, this is something that has been going on for a ton of time, and seeing some of that old footage that I watched, recently of it, it kind of gave me that same energy as like watching like Winston Cup racing like back in the 90s. Like, it just the nostalgia, I guess, part of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, I think Pennsylvania, they were probably racing in the 30s.
That's fucking nuts.
So
dude.
like, same kind of thing as NASCAR, like on the beaches, and then it all transitions, build racetracks, and I think like Pennsylvania has some cool history of how far back racing goes, and California same way. My mom's from California, so I have two sides of my family that grew up racing on each side of the country. So I think that's what's cool about my family. My dad grew up racing on this side of the country. My mom's family grew up on the West Coast racing, and then they met, and it's kind of a combined deal for me now. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, the history of it is just insane. I mean, racing on wooden boarded tracks,
right, dude?
Crazy.
Yeah. I learned about that this past year, about the IndyCar's history, like doing the board track racing. That just seems like absolutely lethal. I don't know.
Yeah, my grandpa raced sprint cars without the roll cage on them. You know, so I remind myself of that. Like, hey, don't be a wimp.
Yeah, you got to get out there. Put your balls on the dash. Is what I like to say.
This stuff really is pretty safe if you're smart about it. So, I look at my grandparents, and they survived that. We should be all right.
We should be all right. Everything's always working out for me. That's the affirmation I usually use. I feel like a lot of people doing what we do out here, they use that. So when you were young, obviously a lot of kids that start out in racing, like they go to karts and stuff. You took a different approach to it. You went into dirt bikes. What was the appeal to that for you when you were a kid?
Honestly, I raced a go-kart for 2 weekends, and the go-kart track was directly beside a dirt bike track. And I think my dad just found out real quick I wasn't interested, and I was over watching the dirt bikes and got a dirt bike, ran in the yard, and I'd say from 5 years old on, like, I raced dirt bikes every weekend.
Yeah. Were you like a Disney Channel kid? Did you remember that movie Motocrossed?
Oh, I love that movie.
Okay, I was going to ask you, what was the origin story? If there was an origin story here, did you watch? Because I know when I watched Motocross, immediately I was like, Dad, can I race dirt bikes? No, too expensive. Get out. So it hit for me. That whole era, I guess, like, I don't know if you remember, we're around the same age, so like, the extreme sports were kind of like really big when we were young.
Oh, dude, I remember sitting on the couch watching X Games, or like, Pastrana, Deegan's dad,
right?
Matt Hoffman, like
Tony Hawk,
all them dudes.
Boom Boom Huck Jam. Do you remember that?
There was just extreme shit going on back then that was cool to watch, and rocket power.
Yeah.
Like, it made you want to go outside and skate.
I was mind blown. I talked to Larson probably about a year ago or so, and he was like, that's all I used to do was watch Rocket Power. And I was just like, it's so crazy how much of a footprint, like me coming into the racing world, meeting you guys, that same footprint was there. So it was just like the element of that, because what you guys are doing at the end of the day is extreme. And I think that a lot of the cultural impact of like what we had going on when we were growing up did a lot of that. Style is a big thing. Finesse is a big thing in these cars. You really got to be in tune. Really mentally, I would say, probably has to be a thing. What's like your mental game? Like, what are you doing like before a race? What are you doing to kind of like get in your zone? Do you do meditation? Do you do visualization? Do you do any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think the visualizing like your plan, and you could take it every step. The beginning of the year, you're going to visualize where you want to be at the end of the year, and break it down like where you want to be at the end of that night, or what you're going to do on track that next moment. I think that's a big one. I think that's how you accomplish goals. And I stay pretty mellow, though. Like, I don't think this is a good sport to get real worked up in, because things happen fast. So I think the more level-headed you can be, the better it is, I think, results-wise and performance-wise. So I feel like I keep it pretty mellow on race nights, and just try and focus on that night and getting that job done.
Yeah. So another thing that I'm fascinated with, and I've talked to a couple of buddies of mine that race, is flow state. So in all types of different forms of racing, drivers talk about getting to this place where you're in the middle of a race and you're able to just slow down time. How often does that happen for you?
I mean, I think we do it so much that we probably don't even realize that that's what's going on. And I think you realize that once the other competition's out there, like I feel like you can tell things are happening fast for some guys, and you watch our guys that do it all the time, it's like, all right, it's happening pretty slow for us, and we're able to think and then do. And I think a lot of people are just letting it happen as it's happening. And I think that's what it takes to be good, right? Like,
yeah,
you gotta be able to slow your racing down and think about it and then do it.
Yeah, I've never gotten. I think the closest I've gotten there was like on the edge of road rage and traffic, where everything slowed down, but it didn't slow down for everybody in the car for me. So, practice wise, so is it safe to say, like, you guys, you're probably never home a lot? You're on the road a ton during the year. You guys have how many, like, what, 80, 90 races a year?
Yeah, I was gone 299 days.
Holy shit.
Not last year, but the year before.
What is, like, so you basically have, like, the life of a trucker while you are racing.
Literally, I tell people I'm full-time trucker. I'm part-time race car driver.
Oh, my God. What are you doing to kill time in between trips usually on the road? Are you driving or are you stopping?
Usually driving. I mean, I got to do all my driving myself. So got my wife, dog with me, and try and hit some cool spots up. Like, we love going to Tahoe, and there are some cool stops that we go to, but a lot of these tracks are in the middle of nowhere, so makes it a little bit hard.
What's your go-to gas station when you're out there on the road? Like, what is your, like, go-to move, like, when you hit the stores?
I go to Love's.
Dude, Love's is where it's at. You sleep at Love's a lot?
Try not to. Walmart.
Walmart?
Yeah.
You big watch. See, I got kicked
Big
out of a
Walmart
Walmart. I like to sleep
There's
at
an
the
app.
Love's. There's an app.
Overnight parking Walmart. Reviews and the whole nine.
No way.
I swear.
So this is like underground truck parking
Yeah,
apps, dude?
Literally, dude, you get on there, and I don't know how many Walmarts are in this country, but it's a lot, and there's reviews on everyone, and if they're red, no sleeping. If they're yellow, you're good.
Incredible, dude. So I didn't know that. So I'm going to need to have that at some point when I get back on the road, because I love just traveling and getting out when I can. But for you, I mean, is there ever moments where you do wish you had a little more time at home, or would you not know what to do with yourself?
No, I think the older I get, the more I want to be home. Like, I think the last 2 years, I've probably been realizing I like being home. I just got to find something to do at home, like, start a business of some sort or something. Keep me busy, because I am pretty active. But, sitting on the road can get pretty boring and not good, I don't think, for your mental health. I mean, like the crew guys, it's brutal. At least they have a lot of work to do, so it keeps them going. But the downtime, I think, is hard, but just part of it.
It's something I feel like you adapt. They say adapt or die, right? Like, you have to kind of have that in you, like that grit in you, to go the distance with it. And speaking of that, like going the distance, so you've arguably got a really long career still left ahead of you. Like, what are your ultimate goals in this? Like, what do you want to achieve here in World of Outlaws?
I'd say my main goal is win a championship or a couple, and get to the 100-win mark, I think, is a big one for me. And I feel that's easily doable. I'm at 45 or 6 or something right now, and that's 8 years of my career. And I think your younger days is more learning. My first 4 years is learning, and still was able to win a lot of races. So I look at my next 8 years of being very capable of winning 50 more races pretty easily. So and then just stringing my seasons together to win a championship. I think I think there's only 11 guys that have ever won our championship or something. So that's a big one.
No, it's huge. Let's say that moment comes. Is there any interest to try a different series out? If there was, where would you want to go if you left here?
I don't think I would ever go anywhere else, honestly. Like, I make a good living doing this, and I think racing nowadays, it's more of guys buying rides, and they're not really making a bunch of money. I don't really keep up with the NASCAR thing, but I bet a lot of them dudes are bringing a ton of money to race and not really making it for themselves. So I'm able to make a living and have a lot of fun, travel the country, and yeah, my seasons are long, but I enjoy it. That's what my family did, and that's what I grew up doing. So
it makes a lot of sense too, because it's like when you think about it that way, like, yeah, there are definitely drivers in those series that pay to play it. It's almost like the level of competition here comes from like a whole nother universe almost, probably in that case, right?
yeah, I think so. I think you're seeing it right now. Like, who are the top NASCAR guys? You got Larson, Briscoe, Bell. Like,
Yeah,
them dudes are dirt dudes, and days on the way, and hopefully they don't keep picking our guys, because I think if we still had those guys here racing, I think it would just be way more intense than it already is. Like, we have 30 guys in the country that can get with it.
Yeah, that brings up a great question, one that I had, and I got some rapid fire ones coming for you too. But last big question I have is, how do you hope to see World of Outlaws evolve over the next few years? What do you think this series needs to gain new fans, grow in popularity, and become kind of a dominating motorsport in America?
I mean, I think you walk a fine line, because the bigger you get, the more NASCAR it gets, and you already see it with the midgets. They're renting rides for a couple thousand a night, or 5,000 a night, or some crazy numbers that I couldn't afford. And to me, that weeds out the actual guys that have the talent. So, you want to see the sport grow, but it's a fine line of growing and then the people that have the talent making it, or I don't know how to put it, but it's tough. And then also our facilities, it's not like NASCAR. We go to a lot of really small tracks that only hold 3,000, 4,000 people.
Right.
So, what are we going to do? Are we going to race 6 tracks 40 times a year? Like, how's that work? I think, that's another really big aspect of growing our sport. We can only grow as much as these tracks are able to grow. And the only way that happens is if fans go out and actually support it and not watch it completely on their phone. So I think getting the younger crowd to actually go to the track, I think, is step one, and then kind of go from there.
It's a whole other experience too, man. Like, cause I've watched a lot of it on the phone. I've watched a lot of it on like live streaming apps, things like that. When you see it in person, I didn't even realize how big the cars were. And so that was, I mean, you saw me lay it down the other day. I was literally sizing out the car for people to show them like what it was. So.
I don't think you can get the intensity that like you feel it in your body when you go stand by the track. And same as a NASCAR deal. When they all fly by and you feel it vibrate through you. I mean, that's sick. And our sport has that, and I think we're putting on the best product out of any four-wheel sport right now.
Yeah, that's what makes the stick, man. I've never had an experience where I brought a person to the track and they didn't leave watching the racing the week after.
Exactly. How many guys would you take to a NASCAR race or something else, a pavement race?
They would just talk shit constantly, and then you bring it and they get it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think this is just so different than a lot of that, and it's just getting the eyes on it.
Yep, exactly. So some rapid fire questions. What's the first thing you do on an off day when you're finally home?
Oh man, it's probably clean.
Clean?
Wash stuff.
Oh, that's tough, dude.
Brutal.
Just immediately into it.
Oh yeah, like, I'll drive all night, get home at like 7 in the morning, and then I can't go to bed, so I just start washing and then try to get to bed at like, get in the house by 4.
Yeah, it's like, what is sleep after you live this kind of life?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
I didn't understand how Ricky could stay up till like 4 in the morning at Daytona during the Rolex and go to a Waffle House until now. Now I understand why you guys, it's like sleep doesn't exist.
2 or 3 in the morning is normal for us.
Yeah.
But we sleep till 9 or 10. So.
There you go. All right, favorite track to run flat out stupid fast?
Eldora.
Eldora, okay. One word to describe how it feels to ride the cushion when it's perfect.
I mean, when it's perfect, easy.
Easy?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your favorite NOS energy drink flavor?
Original, for sure.
Original. All right, perfect. Well, Sheldon, it's been great getting to chat with you, learning a little bit more about the sport. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
And, good luck out there to you this weekend,
Thanks.
dude.
Appreciate it.